We're excited to have you here tonight. Driveway Cam started working on the site in 2015 by providing video clips of parties and events in Atlanta scenes. Since then, he has come to be known as the video guru of the party/event scene, not just here in Atlanta, but other places as well. Driveway Cam is the most sought out video person in Atlanta and other states as well. Some of his works include Dream Weekend in Jamaica and other out-of-states events as well, guys. So check him out. Driveway Cam's social media include his YouTube channel with videos of events that he has recorded, and he has a 9K followers. So guys, please subscribe to David Driveway Cam YouTube channel. He can also be found on Facebook/Instagram. And Driveway Cam partner, his wife Cerie, is the woman behind the man who manages the brand. As a power couple, they try to bring positive light that will always shine and vibes to the Atlanta and other cities/country, as well as to many viewers across the border. Thank you for being here tonight with us, yes, Driveway Cam.
Thank you.
What's up?
Now, I see that's very special because I like to do the intros, right? So that's very special, you know. But I was surprised. I thought I'd hear some Spanish in there as well. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All this
all right. You know. Mi gente.
We haven't even started the whole interview. Like, give me some time to be like, ¿qué pasó, Driveway Cam? Like, amigo, vamos, what's up? Like, you guys like, chill out, calm down, I'm over there.
Well, welcome, David. Welcome. So you got to Atlanta about the same time that I reached Atlanta, moving from New York as well, right? So, so that Olympics year and everything was on the boom. Tell people about, when you first touched down, what was your assessment of the ATL back then?
It's crazy. I first came into Atlanta in the summer of '96 for Freak Day. Blew my mind. So shortly after we went back to New York and stuff, man, my partner who was doing the night at Club Legacy, right, said, you want a DJ, come down there with me and my crew and stuff like that. So we DJed for like 3 weeks in a row. Came back, drove to DJ on a Friday, Saturday, and then went back up on Sunday. Third time, came down, car broke down. Did not go back to New York. I stayed down for a minute, never left.
What? The door broke down. That was it.
But similar story.
All my partners was like, yo, we got to go up. We can't wait no more, whatever. Things was like flipping around in New York. It was like, okay, maybe, Lord telling me something, change the scenery and whatever things happen, look for positive out of the negative. And like, okay, let me just go ahead and build a foundation down here in Atlanta. And that's how it all started.
Definitely, I kind of ended up down here too. The plan wasn't necessarily to stay when I first got here. But I remember the first time I went back up top and then came back. And I was like, whoa, Brooklyn is dirty.
You better watch out for saying that. Like,
no, really. Once you see the difference.
Listen, when you're in the subways, you appreciate the smell, you appreciate the rats, you appreciate all that, man. You miss
the bumps and everything, right?
It's winter.
I got Georgified.
I can tell.
But yeah, I'm heavy on the foundation because he keeps the life of New York going. Thank you. Because us New Yorkers, the first thing we look for is an outlet. Somewhere where we could be ourselves, even though we're in Georgia. And I heard about New York State of Mind. And I said, what? And surely enough, it was the place. I felt like I was somewhere in Brooklyn, like a basement or something. So talk about that. How did that come about?
Well, New York State of Mind is an event that Driveway promotes or promoted.
Yes.
I'm not sure. We'll find out what's happening. But before you answer, what year was that came along? I want to make sure we didn't jump too far ahead.
Yeah, it was, it was 6 years ago, because this is going to be the official 5th one. Because obviously it took off because of COVID and all that and stuff.
All right, so we just jumped like 14 years.
Yeah, like shit, calm down. Because it's a whole life story. Like when he got broken down here in Atlanta,
a lot of those years was nothing really doing anything. Like occasionally I would go to some of the clubs out there, Jaguars and stuff like that, just and or Peacock and stuff like that. I would just go down there for a little bit and whatever, and just That's when I had dreads and what have you. So I was just
wow, we didn't see some of those pictures.
That was just
I'm gonna need you to do a throwback Thursday and put up some of those dread pictures on social media.
That's what I used to be, you know, and what have you, because I always enjoyed the music and the culture. I was born in hip hop. A friend of mine introduced me into reggae and dancehall and stuff like that. And so I just gravitated to it. And me, like when I used to DJ with my partner, Mike West, who actually runs Dugan's in downtown on Ponce. He would do the dancehall stuff like that, like with the newest rhythms and stuff. I always loved the foundation music and lovers rock and stuff. So that's how we partnered up and stuff like that and whatever. But that was just my thing, man, until really just like getting into the music scene and using my video. And like, I just like recording DJs, right? Because I used to DJ. Wasn't say I was the best or whatever the case might be, but back when it was, you remember 12 inches and 45, man, special time. So I always found it that I always gravitated to recording certain DJs. I hear rhythm, mainly like older ones and stuff like that. I record them and stuff for a little bit. And it just ballooned into something because after a while, it was always like certain DJs would know, okay, camera, boom. Yeah. If I follow him, boom. Right. And that's how it just multiplied into that.
So did that start before the promotion?
Yes. Actually, no. Not, to be honest with you, the doing the events and the round robin started a little bit before that. Mm-hmm. Nicole InStyle. Was like, you party a lot, Sean Price and stuff like that, whatever, you got a following and stuff like that. Let's do a round robin. And so we did that at Elegance, and that was like my first intro on the Atlanta scene doing an event. And then I always listen, there's two types of events I like. It's Rewind Sundays, right? That type of vibe, but New York hip hop music. I'm always the person that gets live when I hear New York hip hop, and I'm like, let me do an event, because there's always been hip-hop events out here and stuff like that, but let me do it in my spin, what I like, and, that's how I came up with the concept of New York State of Mind from Nas and stuff like that, and it's just, no matter where you stay, no matter what state you in, if you're overseas, New York is in you if you're born there. They'll never leave you.
Yes, it's like the...
So you were born in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Why are you representing my flag? Like, let's find out what's the history of that. Because
parents are Panamanian.
Okay, let's find it. Okay.
Parents are Panamanian, both born in Cologne.
Oh, Colonense. That's what's up. There go my Colonense. There you go.
Always have love, you know what I mean? So I always represent and stuff like that.
So you don't speak Spanish, huh? I can tell.
Were you the kid that you understand it though?
Understand a little.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like when I was growing up and stuff, parents weren't together and stuff like that, so didn't really hear too much in the household.
I was about to ask you if you was the translator kid, because you have in New York, Brooklyn, you gotta have the translator kid. That's like a plus to have a translator.
Help mommy and daddy.
That was my sister.
But that's awesome. And then as describe growing up, junior high, high school, music, media, anything like that.
No.
Did the DJing start there?
No, what they used to call a latchkey kid.
Oh.
Right? And the kid just, would come home, both parents were working, because for a while we lived in Long Island. So, both of them still worked in Brooklyn, and my father used to drive the B41 up in Kings Plaza. I retired from there for like 25 years.
Rode that bus a lot.
Yes.
I used to love going to Kings Plaza. So I used to come home from school and just stay at home and stuff like that. So I wasn't really out there like that. But I always had love for hip hop. Being Fridays and Saturdays, staying up late, listening to Chuck Chill Out, DJ Red Alert, and what have you, and Mr. Magic and all that. Just like that's where I got my love for the music.
You fell in love with hip hop.
Yeah.
Right, and you've been down here and you hear the accent guys. The New York just ain't gone.
No.
Just never left.
Yeah, you ever see him at a party when they start playing New York music? He like in the whole, he just like
I zone out. I can't help it.
For the love of hip hop, reggae. I see your response to reggae so big. It's amazing. It's just crazy.
Yeah, because it's more than music. It's just a culture. It just makes you feel good. You know what I mean? And there was certain I have an old soul, you know. There's a lot of music that, because I used to work in the record industry, stores, and used to be a manager for like 15, 20 years before. I just knew a lot of music from country to R&B to rock and what have you. And so certain music just hits me a little bit different. So reggae, dancehall, foundation, stuff like that. It was just, when I was going through my life, it was just like the perfect like match to my love for hip hop. That, you know, it was just like, oh, okay,
So,
this is it.
favorite hip hop artist?
KS1, without a doubt.
So I'm glad you pointed that your love for music and growing up and stuff. So here's my thing for me. Growing up for me in our culture, we have the Caribbean in us. Like there's we can't deny that whatsoever. So growing up for me in the house, I'm listening to salsa, bachata, reggae, reggaeton, cumbia, vallenato. And like you said, your love for music, for me, is the same thing. I listen to country music. I think I was talking to you about it the other day as well. So it's like so growing up in a home where both of your parents are Panamanian, Colonense, was that music being played in the house, like Spanish music, reggae, reggaeton, or anything like that? Was that part also an influence for your love for music as well?
Celia Cruz.
Celia Cruz, there you go. Celia Cruz is rest in peace. Yeah.
Celia Cruz is number one, but it was like because my father used to have a bunch of a record collection, and my sister got into it, so it was like they used to play the albums and stuff like that. And it's just like you heard that it's different now, right? Because you know how our kids are just into tune with social media and stuff like that. And it was totally different. So when you listen to country music, when you listen to like I know like Patsy Cline. You know, stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, that type of music I know. So when you hear certain reggae music, especially from the 70s and the 80s, right, it's just like, okay, that's where they got a lot of that, you know, style and lyrics and stuff from, you know, from 60s, 70s music. So it was like, okay, it's a natural bridge. But again, it's part of, you know, that's what was the connection with me with DJing and stuff like that, where I was attracted to listening to playing certain type of music that made me vibe. That's why if you see me zone out, right, it's like, it's the Lovers Rock, it's the Sanchez, it's the Bearers, it's the Tenosaur, it's the you know, Gregory Isaac, and stuff like that just like, it just make me feel young. So that's the whole reason why the Rewind Sunday with me and my wife was just a thing that it's for us to give back to the community and be like, okay, if we're going to throw an event, and we want to do an event that kind of matters, you know what I mean? Yeah. And not saying that no one else's events matters, but it's just like, we're not doing it that much. I don't even consider myself a promoter. It's just, I'm just throwing an event.
This is your baby. This is something that it's it's coming from the inside. It's not something, oh, let me just throw a party because I want to throw a party on a Sunday. This is something that means a lot to you and your wife. So obviously you put in a lot of work, a lot of time, and even the lineup that you have is very good. So when is Rewind Sunday?
April 17th.
Boom.
Premier Restaurant and Lounge.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Cancer, formerly Stone Love, Gary Sweetness, and then also Mark Dragon. We try to keep the lineup, you know, something kind of special, because if we're going to draw you out for one night,
it's gotta be serious.
Yeah. Great.
Shout out to Gary Sweetness. I know how you play, bro. Yeah.
Now, so you had started videoing the DJs. They start obviously playing to the camera, right?
Love it when they do that.
Right. So then this thing generates, right? Now you just doing it. Now it becomes the brand. Tell us about that transition, when you realize that, I think I have something here, and I'm, really going to push this independent media lane.
Yeah, different phases. Like when people are like, oh, record this, during parties. Then it graduated to, people just talking to you outside on the street and just like, yo, you need to do this. You need to get a camera. You need to do this and whatever. And then when you get a camera or when you get the phone, you start doing it a lot more than, you need to be charging these people and whatever. And then it just grows and grows. I mean, like, I really thought, like, before the pandemic, I was getting some work. I mean, I was, right? And then when the pandemic hit, you always question with, a lot of stuff going on, will we ever get back to a sense of normalcy, right? And then you'd be like, okay, well, is this thing really important after, so many people have been impacted and what have you and stuff, and the community's hurting and stuff, and people are still hurting, and whatever the case may be. But then you be like, okay, it start back up, and I don't know what happened, but the energy that I was getting from a bunch of people that's like, hey, you need to, we need you, what have you. It's like, it's blown to the it's almost like it's unbelievable. Yeah. It's like, I never imagined it'd be like this. And it's just me and my cell phone.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But it's the thing about doing. So Highlander was the first to have a website up in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing that as a promotional tool just for our song. We also then started to expose the scene, and just show up at other people's parties, and it was the same thing. You got the camera, take the pictures, bam, up online. And that was like the first big media boom outside using the technology and things. And that helped to push Highlander because we were taking on that thing of self-promotion, really realizing we had this brand and doing that. So in this, what I call the new phase of, there was a run in the ATL, I think up till about maybe 08, 09, where there was a certain energy and the Atlanta scene to me created itself at that point, both on the hip hop scene and on the Caribbean scene. And that foundation, I think, is where we're, everybody now is standing on top of and built on and on. And I love to see like a Caribbean Life TV come along, a David Driveway come along doing this. So with everything now, the success, and everybody knows the brand, what's next? Where do you see yourself pushing it?
I don't know. I don't have no limits. I know, like, several years ago when I was at Dream Week and I'm on the stage for Igloo and a couple other events, and I'm like, yo, I'm in Jamaica. I'm on, and I wasn't even like booked or anything. It was just like, certain DJs or whatever, yo, let me get on the stage and whatever. And that has continued to maximize when it comes to respect level and stuff like that. So right now I have no limits, man. I mean, the unfortunate piece, right? Maybe it's not so unfortunate, with me having a corporate life, I have to balance that because that comes first, right?
Absolutely,
that
pays the bills.
That takes care of, my family and stuff like that and everything that's important. So, that comes first. And so it's kind of hard to juggle everything when it comes to all the events and stuff like that. Like, man, you see the Caribbean calendar I put out, it's like, it's my another
I think
gift.
It's the talk, yes.
Yeah,
the talk
it's
of
just like, I want to, it's chaotic in a sense, right? But it's controlled chaos. Yeah. Because if you didn't have it, then it'd just be
Right.
I see that calendar, I get nervous.
No, I screenshot. I said, let me screenshot this right here just to remind me.
You can't keep up with it, especially with carnival season coming on. But like I said, I mean, it's
good stuff.
It's a lot.
We're going. We're trying to see how far it goes. I'm not gonna, overstep my bounds and stuff like that. I'm gonna stay in control and let's take it to the next level, whatever that may be. I'm not gonna put no limits on it.
That's
so awesome. Where's Driveway Camp this weekend? What event? Don't give us the whole list. Just give us like a short little. Where you at this weekend?
Oh shoot! Let's test my memory. I got this weekend. Tony Monthrun's birthday party at Essence on Friday. Okay. On Saturday, Cleo, the bartender, her birthday party, Yellow and Black. That's going to be in the Glitz of Loft. And then on Sunday, it's going to be a day party. It's going to be Magnificent. GT Fire's birthday party. Nice. And then Sunday, let me remember.
If you leave off the one person. Not the one,
Oh, Jesus, you're going to get called.
If you forget a few, you're all right. But if you forget one.
Lobster Sunday, the boss, Lobster Sunday, Pisces Banquet Hall. Make sure you roll up. The Driveway Camp is going to be there. And listen, I worked 10 hours already. So
yes.
Sari, he needed you because he
Sari,
forgot.
When you see this list,
Oh gosh, the list. When it comes
70
out.
events booked for the year so far.
Yeah, he comes out with his
congratulations.
calendar. Yes, that's a
That's
blessing.
really
good.
Yes.
Congratulations.
But I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the time and whatever. I love it. I love the energy y'all put out. Again, this is something that, Atlanta needed, because when we have something like this, when y'all put this stuff together, it's like it makes Atlanta, look on a different level. Like when people say, hey, what you do, when you put out Me Reach here, or when you do this, brother, you don't know how many people are looking at you and looking at Atlanta and know what's going on. And I've always taken that for granted. That's why when I come to my videos, I don't always put certain things, and whatever the case may be. It's just, I want to, as best as be
Rep the city.
Be protective of the image of the city.
I think what y'all doing is something is special, and y'all doing the same thing. So, big up yourself, because this is what we needed.
Give thanks, brother.
I heard
Give
the boss said it.
now, you're a veteran on the scene. All right, you've seen seen the changes over the 20 years. All right, so compare and contrast, or where would you say right now, in your, they would say the 90s would be the golden era of dancehall, right? In your Atlanta journey, okay, where was the sweet spot? Are we in the sweet spot now? Is it better now than it was then? Is it just different? Well, how would you?
It's like ask me, like hip hop is past or not?
Yeah, but people have their preferences.
That's true.
It's your preference.
Can I be biased for a second? Nothing was better than in the mid 2000s. Nothing. Exposed LNS, early Red Hills was nothing. Now I know Club Jaguar, and back in them days it was special too. Because I remember when I first came here, it was like, whoa.
West Peachtree, for those who don't know, it's totally gone now. But West Peachtree, downtown, Club Jaguars. Yep.
Before the Ray Lewis. Downtown, I'm telling you, it was a special scene, especially like it was just like Atlanta was seeing a lot of Caribbean people come in and whatever, and it was like, it was different. So that energy was fresh, but nothing beats Exposed LNS and early Red Hills around that time.
Oh man, I'm here.
Getting out 7 o'clock in the morning from Exposed. It was great. But now what I would say, I would big up this time, and it's very important that there's a mixture of newer promoters coming in, and what have you. And again, everything is generational in a sense, right?
Yes.
I think some of the things that's going on now with the scene, with the different promoters or the newer promoters and stuff like that, is new blood coming in. It needs, because at the end of the day, you can't do promotion and all that all the time and stuff like that. So obviously, what threw a monkey wrench the whole COVID scene and stuff like that and whatever, and so that's always going to be a layer of challenges to get through. But I think this time is a very special time. In the next 2 to 3 years, I think Atlanta can do a lot of things when it comes to make it at the #1 spot in the United States when it comes to, outside of New York, getting in front of this.
Why you say that?
No, because
Why you say that?
You gotta give props to them.
Listen. I'm BK all day. Right? But listen. I'm super invested. In the ATL. This is where I plant my flag. Right? My stake is here. And so big up to all those, because guess what? I got the training. Right? I walked them streets. I graduated.
I feel you. But again, like it's going away. It's just gotta map certain things out. People gotta work together and continue building the top, and understand there's enough room for everybody at the table and stuff like that. That's part of growing it together as a community.
I commend you for one of the things that you did say. You're saying that you're not a promoter. When you do an event, you're really putting on an event, Because I've always believed in the promoter space, right? When we have professional promoters, people, I'm investing this money because I have to win, because I got to pay my bills, right? My kids got to, eat, and I offer my promotion, right? It's a different kind of thing than sometimes who's just doing their birthday party or doing things, right? They don't maybe care as much to make sure each person coming in is having a great time or thing, if they're just looking to make a quick buck. And what tends to happen, what I've seen is people that are not content with a finished product. They spent their money, they come out, and it used to taint even the venue because of what that promoter did. Somebody would say, "I'm not going back to that spot."
Yeah.
Yes,
and
it
then
does tint the venue. We know that, yeah.
But I'm glad that you just kind of hit a spot with me when it comes to venues. Like, the one thing I would wish is that we'd have a lot more control when it comes to venues on which more community brothers and sisters, right, would open up venues, because that's the one thing I think that's holding us down to, mushrooming into the type of community that we can be, with the type of power. It's just that's the one thing I'm seeing, is that if we have more power in the venues where we can throw certain things and what have you, versus spot here, it could be a different thing.
Yeah.
The constant change of venues when you're throwing parties, and you start off with one, and then next thing you know, we can't throw it anymore there because they tinted that event. So now the owners are like, you can't have your party here anymore because you don't know how to act or how to behave.
And that's the thing. We just need to control that.
Yes.
Like if we have it ourselves, then no one can stop us. No one can say we can't do this. No one can put limitations on us.
Right.
Plus, it helps build a mindset.
Right.
I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to do this. It's like when you look at Yellow and some of the things that he does and what have you respect him, because you be like, this brother is always trying to think 2-3 steps ahead, because it's like, okay, if I want to do this, what do I need to lay ahead of me to make sure that path is easier? And I think, the one thing I would, again, like I said, I'm not the most successful promoter and stuff like that, but what I would just tell some of the young, and even some of the ones that are still here and doing their thing for a while, is you gotta find that avenue where we can be like, well, that's our club, that's our spot. Or no, you know what I'm saying? That's that's someone that runs that spot that understands us, right? And knows what we need to have a successful event, a place where, again, people are still suffering mental health wise in this community, whether it's themselves, whether it's family members still being sick, or just financial stuff. Sometimes it's just does good for our body and our mind to go to a place and just listen to some music and just chill out and let us know where, we can escape this for a little bit, and then, get back to reality, which helps heal our mind and soul.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Atlantic Caribbean Music Radio Show on DWC Radio on your TuneIn app and Caribbean Live TV on ROKU. Listen, we've had the man himself, David Driveway Camp, in the building. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell the people how they can follow you, get in contact with you, book you, or because he's only got 70, right? And there's more days than that in the year. All right, there's more days than that left in the year. So let's fill up this calendar, people.
Oh, please, no.
Don't worry, he's got Sheree. He's got Sheree in his corner, so she's got it. Let's go.
Shout out to Sheree, the woman behind the man making it happen.
You tired too. You feel like David, another person called me for a I don't know what I do. Obviously, you can catch me on Facebook and just search Driver Cam. On IG, Driver Cam _, and also visuals by Driver Cam, and then YouTube. Search for the channel by just putting in Driver Cam.
Yes.
And subscribe, y'all, to his YouTube
channel. Subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, David Driveway in the building.